Welcome back to Let's Learn to Sew. My name is Margaret, and in today's video I'm going to show you how to take a drawstring waistband in a ready-made garment and add elastic to it. So as I mentioned in my last video, I'm getting ready to start my clinicals in nursing school. One of the things that is required is that we wear scrubs. I purchased these in our school bookstore and they were sealed. They looked like they had an elastic waistband. When I got them opened up, they did not. They have a drawstring instead. I want the security that elastic provides, so instead of returning them, I'm going to go ahead and just open up the waistband and add elastic to them. So in order to move from a drawstring waistband to an elastic waistband, you're going to need some elastic. You're going to need a thread to match. You're going to need your seam ripper. And then you're going to need your sewing machine. To get started, we need to open up a section to insert the elastic. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom in a little bit. What I want to do is I'm going to come to this back seam, which is a double stitch. Got my seam ripper. And I'm just going to open those stitches just a little bit. I don't need a big spot, but it's double rowed, so I have to do it on both sections. There we go. And I've got probably about 1.5 inches. I'm gonna go a little bit more on that top section. Okay, and there you can see the cording. I'm gonna leave the cording in there because I don't mind having the elastic and the drawstring in there. You're going to need to cut your elastic. I usually go about 1/2 inch bigger than my waist, and this is a pretty small elastic. Normally if I was doing a waistband, I would use a 3/4 inch to a 1 inch elastic, but because this has a drawstring and the casing that's here is small, I've got to go with a thin elastic. Okay. I've got enough overlap in my tool, and you can either use a tool that is made for inserting elastic, or you can just attach a safety pin here. What you do is go in through the opening, and then you just bunch it together. And you're just going to work your way all the way around the waistband, making sure that the elastic doesn't get twisted or turned. Now, when you get to the openings for the drawstring, just make sure that you pass them by. You don't want the tool to go out. We don't want the elastic to come out. So when you get back to the beginning, you're going to take whatever you use to pull it through off of the elastic. You want to make sure that your elastic isn't twisted. Okay, so what I like to do is go ahead and get it pinned together. Got it overlapped about 1 inch or so. And then I'm going to take it, place it inside. I'm going to pin it in place again. Then I want to move everything around. I want all of the extra elastic. I don't want any of it hanging out. And what I want to do is try these on very carefully because you don't want to get stuck by your pin, and make sure that your elastic is a good fit. That way, if you need to make any adjustments, you can do it before it's stitched down in place. Over my sewing machine, I've got my machine threaded up with thread that matches the fabric on my scrubs. And I've tried on my pants to make sure that I've got a good fit on the elastic. What I'm going to do is I'm going to set my machine for a zigzag stitch. That's only to stitch the elastic shut. Okay. I've got my pins in. What I'm going to do is I'm going to position the elastic in the middle of the opening on my presser foot, and I'm going to lower my presser foot. I'm going to take out that first pin, and now I'm going to zigzag stitch down to when I get to the second pin, making sure that the elastic is flat and not twisted. Okay, I can take out the second pin now and continue stitching. I'm going to turn my hand wheel towards me to put my needle in the down position. I'm going to raise the presser foot And what I'm going to do is flip this around, lower the presser foot, and I'm going to stitch over this section again. And you can go over this a couple of times until you're sure that the elastic is secured. Now that the elastic is secured, I'm going to go ahead and raise my presser foot and trim my threads. So now I've got my thread tails under the back of my machine. I'm going to go ahead and set my machine for a straight stitch. Now you're going to want to give your waistband a tug. That's going to get all of that elastic back inside the casing. And then we need to smooth it out. And remember, this pair of pants had a double stitching on the waistband. What I'm going to do is I'm going to line up my needle with the stitched line. Turn the handle towards me to do that. I can see where I'm lined up on my presser foot. Be sure to backstitch if your machine doesn't automatically do it. And I'm going to go a little bit into the area that I did not open up. I'm going to backstitch, raise the presser foot, and trim the thread. Now I'm going to do the same thing in that second row of stitching. And not all garments are going to have 2 rows of stitching in the waistband. Once you trim your threads, you're done. You want to make sure that you got everything closed up. And at this point, your pants are ready to wear. That's how easy it is to add elastic to a drawstring waistband. If you have any questions or comments, let me know down in the comment section below and I'll be happy to answer them. If you enjoyed the video, I hope you'll give us a thumbs up. Be sure to hit the subscribe button if you're not already a subscriber, and visit letslearntosew.com, your sewing and pattern making headquarters.